So once you arrive onto your mat, come onto your back in any position that feels comfortable for you to feel that root sensation. So maybe the knees are bent and the feet are flat. Maybe the feet come together and the knees splay open. Or you opposite and have your feet wide and your knees can knock together. So arrive on your mat. Feel the support of the earth beneath you. And then take 3 deep breaths, just inviting in the energy of your day so far and cleansing it out. So you just start fresh, just like a clear palette upon which to paint practice. Really offer a forceful breath deep into the diaphragm. Feel that cleansing energy wash over you. So that you can take a little scan of the body. Just letting your internal gaze float over all the parts of your body. Noticing how everything feels today. Keeping in mind as you do that body scan that today and each day this week, and then hopefully every minute for the rest of your life, will be filled with self-compassion. So as you notice parts of the body that may be sore or tight, just honoring with awareness and some loving breath, rather than shaming yourself for doing too much or not doing enough. Leaving no part of the body unnoticed. I think of this as taking attendance. Just honoring what's showing up for your practice today. So we begin our self-compassion journey by taking it back thousands of years to the very first outline for a yogic lifestyle. If you've studied yoga, you're familiar with Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. The Yoga Sutras outline what a yoga lifestyle should look like. And we begin with the yamas, which is one of the moral observances, one of the ways that sort of outlines how to live. And the very first thing that's written is Ahimsa. Ahimsa means nonviolence, and in the literal sense, not casting any harm onto yourself or to others or other living things. That's why you notice a lot of yogis are vegetarians or vegan. But today we're going to extract from that the idea that nonviolence begins with the way that we think about and treat ourselves. And so we want to encourage you to literally hold no harmful thoughts of yourself. And if you notice them creeping into your mindset, just hold space for them for a moment and then do what you can to soften that voice and invite in a sense of acceptance. You don't have to go right away to an insincere compliment or something that doesn't feel natural, but just take note of what you do allow in your mind and decide, is this serving me well, or would I be better off being kinder and softer with myself, just as I am with my loved ones? And so the yamas, the moral restraints that tell us how to live, it begins with ahimsa. And we practice ahimsa by holding ourselves with positive thinking, feeling positive thoughts, accepting ourselves exactly as we are, and noticing the actions that we bring upon ourselves through choices that we make. Is it serving us or is it harming us? Ahimsa means to live in harmony with rather than to harm. And ahimsa takes awareness. It takes a really healthy dose of restraint and discipline, right? Holding ourselves back from those habitual thought patterns that degrade us or judge us. And then it takes a really big helping of forgiveness. We'll get into that later in the week. And lastly, practice. This is a cycle. We come back to it over and over as we're constantly noticing the way we treat ourselves. So as you practice today, be aware. Have a little discipline and restraint if you notice unpleasant thoughts creeping into your mind that judge you, that criticize you, that make you feel shamed in any way. And then forgive yourself for whatever it is that you knowingly or unknowingly did. Find forgiveness and just practice. Keep doing it. Keep coming back to it. This is our mantra for today. So if your eyes aren't already closed, close them and invite your hands to rest anywhere on your body that you feel really needs some extra love right now. Maybe it's your heart. Maybe it's your belly. Maybe the hips, the legs. And you can repeat this in your mind or out loud. When I accept myself, I am freed from the burden of needing you to accept me. When I accept myself, I am freed from the burden of needing you to accept me. When I accept myself, I am freed from the burden of needing you to accept me. Start to notice the breath. How do you feel that breath inside the body? Can you invite it to fill up every cell of your existence? Can you breathe a little deeper into the inhale and release a little more fully in the exhale? Is there anything holding you back from exploring that deep breath? When I accept myself, I am freed from the burden of needing you to accept me. Take a big breath in. Let a breath go. Beautiful. Start to bring the knees toward the chest. Give yourself a big hug and find some roly-poly movement onto the lower back. Feel where the shoulder blades press into the earth. Maybe you start to make some big circles into the hips. Just move freely. Part of self-compassion in our practice is really truly listening to that inner wisdom, guided by the Ajna chakra, guided by the Anahata chakra, your heart, and just making the practice serve you well. Make sure it feels good. Feel free to do anything that I'm not cueing. Feel free to leave behind anything I am cueing if it doesn't feel right for you today. All right, we're going to draw our right knee in, extend the left leg long, really actively press that left heel away from you. And then extend the right leg up to the sky, giving a nice stretch into your hamstring. Maybe make circles into that right ankle or point and flex. You can even take that little journey of massaging your leg up to the heel, waking up the fascia of the body, stimulating the circulation under the skin, Noticing what part of the body may be in need of some modification today. Nice. And then start to guide that right leg across the body, taking a spinal twist. So keep the shoulders rooted on the earth. Maybe turn the head over to right. Still try to maintain some length in the spine. So even though you're laying down, you're stretching the crown of the head away from the tailbone. And then breathe deeply into the twist. Nice. Breathe in. Breathe out. Beautiful. Guide that right leg up across the body. Bend into the right knee, and with your right hand, just kind of press that hip open. You can again point and flex or stretch into the right ankle, however it feels good. And then we're going to bring that right foot over to the left thigh. So slide your left leg over so that the right foot finds the thigh like a tree leg. Reach the arms up and overhead and open up through the left side body. So your right hand will take the left wrist. Just feel that crescent shape. It's called bananasana, interestingly, because you look like a big banana. Breathe in. Breathe out. Very nice. Come back into center. Hug both knees into your chest once again. Feel the pelvis tipping up a little bit. Lift your sacrum. And then hug the left knee in as the right leg presses away from you. Create some space in the hips. Stretch that left leg up to the sky, binding behind the leg. We're taking that massage journey. Feels so good when we get a massage, right? We pay tons and tons of money to get massages. Why don't we realize that our hands are healing and strong and they know exactly what we want and need? So just give yourself that love. It's free. Beautiful. And then bring the back flat to the earth. Let that left leg guide over to the right side, taking your spinal twist. Breathe into the spine here. If something catches your attention because it feels tight, be present for it. And then just say, I love you, and send some breath right there. And again, be aware if any unpleasant thoughts pop into your mind. Right? That's where the discipline and the restraint come into play. And restraint is not resistance. Restraint is just keeping yourself from traveling down that rabbit hole. It's being aware that these thoughts are present, but then turning them into something a little bit more supportive and loving. All right, we're going to come back to our back. Keep that knee bent as you drive the knee down toward the earth and just move into that hip socket a little bit. It's like stirring a pot of soup. And then bring the foot to the thigh. So slide the right leg over to meet it. Reach the arms up overhead, left hand to the right wrist, and open up the right side body. Bananasana. Big breath in. Full breath out. Take a few more breaths. Gorgeous. All right, release everything back to center. Hug the knees in towards your chest and start to roll up to a seated position, finding your Sukhasana, your easy seat. There's Sukha, there's ease into the body, there's effortlessness into the hips. And we're just going to start to move a little bit into the torso. Maybe you start to take a walk around, maybe you get the arms involved. Try not to think too much about what you're doing. We just want to invite some movement into the vertebra of the spine. So you can do some cat-cows. You can lean forwards and backwards. You can move in circles. Just have some fun moving freely. Right? We're trying to remove restrictions this week. Trying to remove the lines of the box so that you can feel free to do whatever feels good in your body. And if moving feels better than staying still, go for it. But if you find a spot and it's like, oh yeah, right there, that feels so good in my hips, then stay there. There's no judgment. We'll take 4 more breaths, exploring all the planes of the body. Beautiful. 1 more big breath. Nice. We're going to come into table position. And from table, we're going to make ourselves into our inverted V-shaped downward facing dog. So ideally, the feet are about 2 fist distance apart, melting the heels down, lifting the tailbone high. Just take a moment to explore your space. Shift the weight between the palms. Press your chest back toward your thighs. Maybe come forward into a high plank. Just feel free to move. Feel free to express yourself however it feels natural for you right now. We are celebrating you this week. Come back into stillness. Be aware of the hands here. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Feel the rooting down, not just into the heel of the hand, but into the padding just under the knuckles as well. Feel that activation as you press the earth away. Take 1 more big breath. Beautiful. Start to walk your feet to your hands. Find a forward fold here. Invite a generous bend in the knees as you take the elbows into the palms. Let the body sway a little bit or bounce. Shake the head. Nod the head. Beautiful. And then release the hands. We're going to rise halfway to a nice flat back. So we're taking our time here to work on alignment. Again, the tailbone and the crown of the head are pulling away from each other. The navel's drawing up to the spine, pressing into your shins or to your whatever you reach on your legs. Feel the shoulders slide away from the ears. Gaze downward, not out. You want a nice long plane across the spine. Take 1 more big breath in. And as you exhale, fold. This time, inhale, rise all the way up. And bring the hands right to the heart, where you honor yourself. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float back, hinging at the hips, back to a fold. Inhale, halfway lift to a flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back, come into a low lunge. And just bounce a little bit, maybe shift forwards and backwards, maybe stir it up. Notice the sensations in the hips. Take a big breath in. And then we're going to step back to a high plank. From high plank, release the knees, untuck the toes. And as you lower down, just take note of the elbows. If they're flaring out, make sure to rotate the eye of the elbow toward the front of the mat. So you just feel this rotation through the upper shoulders. And then as you lower down, keep that back nice and strong, belly engaged, chest to the earth, chaturanga. Inhale, press the earth away, feel the heart open, shoulders slide away from the ears, back through table back to downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. On the next breath, look to the front of the mat, walk your feet nice and slowly, activating those sensations in the legs, doing a lot of legs today. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands at the heart, honor yourself. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow down. Halfway lift, hands to shins. Plant the hands, right foot steps back, low lunge. Again, take time to move a little bit and just to be safe on your joints, you would like to have your left knee stacked over your left ankle. And then plant the hands, step back to your high plank. Release the knees if you'd like, untuck toes. Bend the elbows. Again, you want the elbows to kiss the sides of the body. Lower down nice and slowly. Beautiful. Inhale, lift the heart. Cobra pose. Exhale through table, back to downward facing dog. Just deconstructing our sun salutation here, nice and slowly, so that when we do start to speed it up, the body is familiar with where to go in terms of alignment and engagement. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Look to the front of the mat. This time either step or walk to the front of the mat. Rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up again. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, flat back. Plant the hands, left foot steps back, low lunge. Right foot joins high plank. Maybe the knees stay up this time and you lower all the way down to the earth. Then inhale, press the earth away, rise and shine through your heart. Back to downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Look to the front, maybe step with the other foot. Forward fold. Rise up. Honor yourself right here. Inhale, rise. Exhale, dive down. Halfway lift. Plant the hands, right foot steps back, low lunge. Left foot steps back, high plank. Chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, cobra, press up. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, building onto this a little bit. Look to the front of the mat. Let's try bending our knees and taking a little hop. Both feet landing at the same time. Rise up. Maybe at the top you find a little back bend if that feels good. And hands come to the heart. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, dive down. Halfway lift, hands to shins. And maybe you hop back or step back into your chaturanga. Keeping the thighs lifted this time. Come to the tops of the feet, upward facing dog. Woo! Lift the hips, downward facing dog. Only taking those amplifications if they feel right in your body. Listen to your body. We're not trying to prove anything to anyone here. You're showing up for yourself. So what do you need? Let's do that one more time. Look to the front of the mat. Bend the knees. Trust yourself. Hop feet to hands. Inhale, rise up. Nice. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, lift up once again. And dive down. Halfway lift, flat back. Plant the hands. This time just step the left foot back. And we're going to rise up into a high crescent lunge. Yes, and do the same thing. Just take a little bouncy. Open up through the hips. Very nice. Really actively press through that left heel so you can feel opening into that hip flexor. Beautiful. Big breath in. Full breath out. We're going to interlace our hands behind the back here. Find some opening through the heart. Really igniting that love energy, that anahata. We need that in our game of self-compassion here. So notice that the right knee, if you're feeling fatigued at all, will want to start collapsing in. Feel it spiraling outward as you draw the heart and the gaze up toward the sky. Big breath in. Full breath out. Take one more breath. And as you exhale, bow down, bringing your chest toward your thigh and bring your arms up overhead. So while you're squeezing shoulder blades together, try to release the shoulder heads from your ears. Yes. Slide them down and back. Take one more breath. We're going to rise back up. So keep that right knee bent. We're going to step the left foot to meet it. Come right into a chair pose. Utkatasana. Still with the bind, unless the bind doesn't work for you anymore, then let it go. So sinking the tailbone low toward the heels. Bring those hip creases down. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, chest to thighs. Maybe come onto the balls of your feet, drinking bird. Lift those heels. I promised you legs today. So breathe into the burn. Take a big breath in. Let a breath go. Then release the heels down. Release the bind. Forward fold. Nice. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, lift. And bow down. Beautiful. Halfway lift, flat back. Plant the hand, step just the right foot back. Coming into a lunge stance, so your right heel's lifted. Press down as you lift up. Okay, same thing. Find a little movement in the hips. Nice. We're going to interlace once again behind the back. Do it in a different way. Offer a new sensation into the shoulders. New weaving of the fingers. Every time we do things like this, it reminds us that we do get caught in thought habits of self-destruction, and we're trying to be aware of it so that we can stop, so we can be more loving and compassionate to ourselves. So try new things. All right, take a big breath in. Find that little arch of the back. Don't lose the lunge. Keep sinking the tailbone low. Beautiful. One more big breath. And then bow down. Keeping the bind if it works for you. Floating the arms away from the back. Finding our humility here. It takes a lot of releasing of the ego to find that pure, unconditional love for ourselves. You got it. One more breath. And then we're going to rise back up to that bound high crescent. Keep the left knee bent. Step the right foot to join. Utkatasana. Yes. Feel the burn. Breathe. One more big breath. And chest to thighs. Drinking bird. Maybe the heels lift. Come to the balls of the feet. You've got this. Celebrate what you can do. Don't be worried or harping on what you can't. Celebrate where you are. One more breath. And release the bind, forward fold. Nice work. Inhale, rise all the way up. Hands to the heart. Lift and reach. And fold once again. We'll take a vinyasa flow, halfway lift to a flat back. Root the palms down. Again, maybe you hop back. If you hop back, land with the elbows bent, chaturanga. Inhale, draw the heart through the biceps. Back to downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Beautiful. On the inhale, right leg rises. As you exhale, step the right foot through, back to a high crescent lunge. And then we're going to step the left foot in just a little bit for an intense leg stretch, our pyramid pose. So for pyramid, you're on two lanes of traffic. You want all the feet and the toes rooting down into the earth. Hips are squared to the front. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, float halfway. So really draw the navel up here. Just a little adjustment of drawing the left hip forward, right hip back. And as you exhale, float the hands down toward the earth. You're welcome to bring blocks or books or something to help you tether your hands to the earth so that you can maintain straightness in the legs. But if you're feeling like that right knee is locked, just give it a little soft bend. Chest to thigh. Find your surrender. Find your surrender here. Where do you notice tightness? Where can you breathe some compassion? Take another breath. And then start to shift into that front foot, right foot. Left leg rises, three-legged dog. So your foot is flexed, that left foot flexed, toes down, heel up. Maybe your hands come to frame your standing foot to challenge your balance a little bit. Binding on the ankle, drawing your nose toward your knee. Really breathe into that intensity in that right leg. Breathe in. Breathe out. Step the left foot to meet the right, forward fold. We're going to come back up into chair pose. Yes. So sink the hips nice and low. Really engage through those hip stabilizers. Feel those glutes fire up. Woo. You want a nice long torso with the shoulders drawn down away from the ears. Breathe in. Squeeze those thighs together. Sink low. Deep breath. 2 more breaths. One more breath. And exhale, fold. Nice work. Halfway lift, flat back. Plant your hands. Take your flow any way you'd like. We will meet in downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. On the inhale, left heel rises. Step the left foot through. Rising to high crescent lunge. And then shorten the stance just a tad, rooting the right foot down, ready for your pyramid pose. Your intense leg stretch. So you're going to draw your left hip back, right hip forward, nice and high through the spine. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, start to reach forward. Nice flat back, yes. And then slowly begin to fold down. Just keeping an eye on y'all. Beautiful. Yeah, as you fold, just maintain the hip leveling. So you want to make sure that your left hip is drawn back, right hip forward. Nice. Yeah, use your hands to guide you even. That was excellent. Take another breath. And then shift into that left foot standing split, raising that right heel with purpose, with intention, feeling the muscles hug, and keep spiraling that inner thigh inward rather than letting the hip splay open. Maybe the nose comes toward the knee. Big breath in. And then step the right foot to meet the left. Toe mounds kiss. Inhale, sweep up, Utkatasana. Chair pose. And I love to do chair pose with funky music because I like to dance in my chair pose. But if you like to be still, be still. Make sure the weight is primarily in the heels so that we're not reaching forward, stressing the knees. Want to draw back. Yes. Hip creases back toward the heels. Take one more big breath. And fold. Beautiful. Halfway lift, long spine. Plant the hands, take a flow. Make it fun, make it playful. Notice your presence for yourself here. Notice the thoughts that you're holding in your mind for yourself here. Hopefully you're inviting acceptance and love. Remembering that when you accept yourself, there's no need to seek acceptance from others. That's just icing on the cake. Big breath in. Full breath out. Look to the front of the mat, bend the knees, hop feet to hands. And we're going to rise all the way up. Bring your hands to the heart. Just close the eyes for a moment and mountain. Notice where you can soften. Maybe if there's tension in the jaw, you loosen it a little bit. If there's tightness in the shoulders, you relax it a little bit. Beautiful. All right, from here, we're going to shift the weight into your left foot. And start to welcome your right knee up towards your chest. We're going to externally rotate through that right hip. And maybe it takes a few times to rotate. And as you rotate, you don't want the whole body to swivel. You want to stay really firm in your standing leg. So you're rooted and you're just opening up through the right side hip so that we can take a tree pose. So you're welcome to put the foot against the leg above or below the knee. Down below here by the ankles, really nice way to feel grounded and rooted. If today is not a good balance day for you, maybe you were served a few two mimosas on Mother's Day and you're like, raw. All right, stand up nice and tall. Take a big breath in. And we're going to take that bananasana shape again. So crescent over to the right side. It's important to fix your gaze. That drishti will help you stay stable. And actively press foot into leg, leg into foot. Feel the glutes fired up, the thighs are fired up. Beautiful. One more big breath. And come back into center, hands to the heart. This time cross the right ankle over the left thigh and start to sink the hips low, finding that figure four. So just as with our chair pose, instead of jutting forward with the knee, draw the hips back. The knee stays stacked over the ankle. Yes, you want to stay safe. Feel free to use a wall if you have one. You can fold if you want more sensation. You can take any of the arm balances we've worked on, or grasshopper or flying pigeon, or just stay here and savor the juicy hip stretch. Take 3 more breaths. Beautiful. Come back up. We're going to lift that knee up. We're not quite done yet. And we're going to send it back for warrior 3. And then bring it back up and sink into chair pose. Yes, just invite. Sink low. Notice where you're feeling it. 2 more big breaths. 1 more big breath. And then drive into the heels as you come back up to Tadasana. Beautiful. Gather your breath. Then we're going to shift the weight now into the right foot. And feel free to stir out through the ankles if you need to. Shifting into the right foot. Start to invite your left knee up. Bring that external rotation into the hip. And just maybe move it a little bit side to side. I noticed that when I did that, my whole body turned. So I'm going to find more stability in my right leg. And then root the foot onto the leg above or below the knee. Find your tree pose. Where do you feel stable? Where does it feel natural? And then begin maybe to grow your branches. Once you lift the arms, soften the shoulders. Yes. Relax them away from the ears. Take the left hand on the right wrist. Crescent over to the left. Keep firing up through your right side glute, the thigh, to provide stability here. Oh yeah, keep breathing. Let's not forget about that. One more big breath. You guys look awesome. Come back into center, hands to the heart. Cross that left ankle over the right thigh with the foot flexed and sink the hips back. Yes. Lower down till you get to your edge. You're like, yep, there it is. And breathe into it. Love, kindness, acceptance, gratitude, everything you have. You're just recycling it right back to you. What an honor and a gift it is to practice, right? Truly. 2 more breaths. Nice. Come back up. Bring that left knee up to your chest. Send it back. Find your warrior 3. I've got a wall here. And bring it back up. Chair pose. You've got this. Sink the hips nice and low. Breathe into that burn. Don't let the body get stressed with shallow breath. 2 more breaths. One more big breath. And then we're going to lower all the way down to the earth. Come right onto your sit bones. Let me check and see what time it is because I don't have a good clock down here. Okay, we're good. Perfect timing. Come on down to your sit bones. Let's do a little core work here. A little something for the belly. So coming into your boat pose, you have the options, of course, to bring the hands behind the knees. You can roll the shoulders back. You can keep the knees or feet tethered or lift them. You can even, if you want to turn this into a leg stretch, because we're doing a lot of legs today, is take a bind on the big toes and start to extend the legs. All right, so find your shape. We'll take 4 deep breaths here. Make sure you're really exploring the whole inhale, the whole exhale. Keep the spine long so you're not collapsing in the spaces that you need to fill with breath. 2 more big breaths. 1 more big breath. Into our Baddha Konasana here. Soles of the feet together. Maybe just balance a little bit in the knees. Take a big breath in. We're going to take a fold here. So just let the chest rest down. Let the head hang. Maybe the chin comes toward the chest. And then slowly start to press up. Find Dandasana, staff pose. Legs are out in front of you. Sitting nice and tall. Find the sit bones. Feel rooted. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, hinge at the hips. Another forward fold, this time with that leg stretch. So you can bind anywhere you'd like to. If you're feeling really flexible, it's nice to cross the ankles and take a bind with the outer edges of the feet in opposite hands. Let yourself melt here, finding a release and a surrender with each breath. Take 1 more big breath. Nice. Come on back up. We're going to take a toe bind on that left foot. Bring the left leg with you. And then bend the knee and bring the left foot to stack over the right thigh. And draw the right heel to you by bending in the right knee. So you can root down through your palms behind you. You can turn the palms any which way that feels good to you. So play around with your options. And we're looking here to give a nice stretch. Once again, like our standing figure 4, it's a seated figure 4, into that thigh, into the hip of the left side. Notice if you've collapsed into your neck like a turtle, lift up and away. 2 more breaths. Nice. And then bend your right knee or bring your right foot towards your left sit bone, stacking your shins one atop the other, or coming back to Baddha Konasana, cobbler pose, if this doesn't work in your hips. Sit up nice and tall. We're going to twist over to the right. So your left hand comes to the right knee. Inhaling as you lengthen the spine. Exhale as you rotate. One more breath. Come back into center. Root both palms behind you. See if you can press into the earth and lift your hips. Wah! Really big hip flexor stretch here. You don't have to go very high to feel it. So just be where you are. 2 more breaths. Nice. And then release. Extend both legs out in front of you once again. Take a big breath in. Exhale, fold. You can take a bind on the toes again if you want. or the feet. Forward folds are really calming for the nervous system. So if you are getting involved in a busy day and you start to notice yourself getting a little activated or agitated, or maybe you're noticing that you're harboring some unpleasant thoughts, which triggers our nervous system, by the way, just like a house fire would. It puts us in stress mode when we attack ourselves with negative talk. So bring yourself into a forward fold. Bring a little soothing into your nervous system. All right, from here, keep the bind on the right foot. Lift that leg up, 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 up. Bring the right ankle to cross over the left thigh. And bring the left knee towards you, finding your seated figure 4. Keep lifting up out of your tail. You want to feel it here. Take one more breath. Nice. And then bring your left heel over to your right sit bone, stacking the shins, double fire log or double pigeon here. If that works for you, sit up nice and tall and twist over to your left. Beautiful. One more big breath in. Deep twist out. Come back into center. Last little bit here for the hips. Whoa, lift them up. Press into your palms. Pretty intense. You've got this. One more big breath. And release. Nice work. Uncross the leg. Shake them out once again. And then come on down to your backs. Hug your knees into your chest. Come back into that roly-poly motion. Relaxing your back into the earth. When I accept myself, I am freed from the burden of needing you to accept me. Can that be the mantra you hold all day long? Finding the freedom to accept yourself unconditionally, just as you are. Loving all your perfect imperfections, all your goofy mistakes. All right. From here, we're going to bring the feet together, knees open. One hand on your heart, one hand on just above the navel, your Manipura. So Anahata Manipura. I can talk chakra talk to you now. And just coming into awareness of self. None of us is perfect. We're all flawed. That's the nature of humanity. But what beautiful gifts we are. Our physical body, our breath, our love. You're such a magical gift to the world. May you connect here to your powers, to your kindness and compassion. And may you bathe yourself in that light of acceptance. And if you notice anything posing a barrier, just be aware of it. And then show restraint from traveling deep into that hole. And instead, find a space of light where you don't have to suffer under your own thoughts. You can flourish, bringing into mind through thoughts, through actions, through words, nothing but kindness and self-compassion. You deserve it. You are worthy. Take a big breath in. Let a breath go. You're welcome to stay just as you are. for our final resting shape, or you're welcome to unfurl the body into a traditional Shavasana corpse pose. Either way, find your way into our final shape. When the rest is over, I will awaken you with a poem by Victoria Erickson. Self-love can be tough because it's usually dressed in a gown of discipline, a sometimes abrasive changing of habits, temporary discomfort, focused dedication, and ongoing practice. Your heart is worth it all. Invite a big breath in. Let it go. One more collective breath in and a full release. Letting go of old ways of thinking, old stories you've told yourself about your limitations, and welcome a new way of being, a way that invites nothing but love, kindness, compassion, gentleness, and forgiveness for you. Slowly make your way over to one side, awakening the body with movement on your way there. And then gently find your way into a comfortable seated position with the hands together, pressing palm against palm. And we begin by pressing our thumb knuckles up to our Ajna chakra, seat of wisdom. May you have the wisdom to hold only kind, compassionate, and loving thoughts for yourself. We bring the thumb knuckles to our lips, where we speak our truth, our satya. And may you say in your mind and out loud only kind, compassionate, and loving words about yourself. And we bring our thumb knuckles to our heart. May your heart be filled with nothing but love, kindness, and compassion for you. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with us today. I honor you just as you are honoring yourself. Namaste. So thank you once again for being a part of this. Thank you to the Energy Club for sponsoring this gathering of mindful movement. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Again, each day this week, we are going to be talking about self-compassion. So each day it'll be a little bit different.